Hey parents, this is Hi parents, this is Mr. Zendejas. I'm in room 401, Salt Creek Elementary School. This video is for you to help you parents to understand what I'm asking of the kids, and so we can have better communication as far as what we're trying to do with the students' homework folder and homework materials and what goes home and comes to the classroom on a daily basis. So it's to give you a little bit of explanation of the purpose of why we do what we do and how we do it, so that way you can help me in supporting your students. Okay? So first thing we'll start with is the actual homework folder. Every student should have a homework folder, and I'm asking every student to have their homework folder to look the same way. Now let me go to the purpose. The reason I'm doing it. The purpose for homework is to develop habits. That's the number one goal. In the future, those habits will help your child to grow to become amazing learners. They're not ready for that yet. What we're developing is the baseline habits that will, when they get to 7th grade, they're going to be amazing learners. When they go to high school and college, they're going to be amazing academics. And so that's what we're getting them ready for. Habits are important for that. And organization is one of the habits. Preparation is one of the habits. And having your homework completed and done is one of the habits. And that's what we're focusing on with the homework folder. And that's what I'm asking you to help me, because I have 26 kids, and I'm actually on every daily basis, I am developing the habits. I'm forming, shaping them to have the habits that I think is going to be necessary for them. And it is important that they all do it the same way. If they all do it in a different way, then the amount of time that it takes for me to do this does not make it worth the effort. So in order for it to be an efficient and effective use of my time in the classroom, everybody has to do it the same way, or else it's not going to work. So I know there's many different ways to do it, but in order to do this, it has to be done my way, or the highway. I mean it in the most wonderful sense. So if everybody gets it done, then it should take like 30 seconds for me to check, and then we move on to the learning and to the academics. If it takes a little bit longer for me, take 30 seconds to deal with one student, and then another 4 students, 30 seconds each, that's 2 minutes. That takes a long time away from our instruction time, and that's what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to get everybody done in 30 seconds. So that's the purpose for it. I'm developing skills that will help them into the future. So homework folder, we'll start with that. Okay, homework folder needs to have inside. Now I'm asking that on the left side is their homework side. Homework on the left, and recursos folder, which is a resource math folder that is not homework. I'll explain that in a little bit. Homework and resource folder on the left, because I want to see that right away, and it'll take me 5 seconds to see it. On the right, anything that goes home, and I'll explain this in the take home stuff. On the right, things that I don't want them to come back. Anything on the right, I don't want to see it back, because if it keeps coming back, what will happen is the kids will mix it up with the important stuff, and then they'll lose their papers. And that's one of the habits we're trying to develop, how to keep organized so that they don't lose their homework. Please help me to help them. On the right, take home. On the left, homework and resource folder. How do you know if it's take home? Well, if it has writing on it, usually it'll be green markings with numbers or check marks, or red usually, and notifications that need to be sent home from the school or different things. How do you know if it's homework? Well, usually we will have minute math every day, and I'll explain in just a little bit. We'll have a math worksheet every day, and I will give it to them on a daily basis. We'll put it in the homework folder every day. And the reading log that's good for the week, and the summary in the back. So these are the three things that should be in there on a daily basis. Spelling maybe to come soon, but we'll figure that out soon. Now, recursos de matemáticas is a math resource. This is not homework. They cannot put any homework in here, and they cannot put any of the take-home stuff in here. Now, the purpose of this folder is to help develop a study habit. That means when they have a chapter test, they're going to study with it out of this. They're not ready for that yet. In high school, in junior high, in college, they'll be good. They'll be good at studying. We're developing the habit so when they get there, it's easy for them. And right now, the most important thing is this is not homework, but it must stay in the homework folder because it must go home and come to the classroom on a daily basis. Now, what I'm asking you, parents, from you, the most important thing is that they keep this stuff in here. I know some parents like to control the homework, for example, the reading log. I'm asking you to let them control it, to let them have it in the homework folder so that we can develop their habit. I think our habits are pretty well developed right now, but we're trying to develop their habit of maintaining control of their homework. So please, in the folder, don't leave anything at home. Everything stays there, goes home and comes to the classroom on a daily basis, and I do check it on a daily basis. If it's not there, it'll slow the process down. If 4 kids have it missing, 30 seconds per kid, that's 2 minutes lost in instruction time. And that's a big 2 minutes. Please help us out. That's homework folders and what needs to be there. Another thing that's part of the materials that needs to be here on a daily basis is their readings. They will have 2 books from the school library, the Salt Creek Library, and they could have, it depends on each kid, but they could have more for my classroom library or from home. The books that they are reading at home should be the same books they are reading in the classroom. The books should go home and come to class every day. There's a reason behind it. With AR tests and other and summaries and discussions about books are some of the reasons. But they must have them in the classroom. And if it's not the book they read last night, it's going to be a problem because what we do in the classroom connects with what they do at home in reading. And if it slows us down, then that's a big issue. Please do not let the kids keep the books at home. They must come home and to the classroom every day. Very important to the process, okay? Those are materials what you should see. Now I'm going to explain to you a little bit more about the details of how we use it and what we do with it. Recursos. So this is a big one. So recursos is not homework. Recursos is mostly classwork. So this here is Stella's, of course, and what you see is that in here she has all the work for the chapter that we just completed, chapter 10. So here's Stella's work, all of this in here. So yesterday we took the test, chapter 10. All of this, she saved it because in the future she's going to be using it to study for chapter 10 test. And that's what we're training them for. We're training that habit so that in the future they can study for it. So all of this needs to be saved and left in there. Please do not take it out of there and leave it somewhere else. It must always stay in the recursos folder, and that recursos folder must stay in the homework folder. So here's Stella's. Stella is turning in her stack of work, and bam. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn around, we're going to give her points for it. Here are some other students. This is Audrey's. So we're going to write all over it, and what we're going to give her is points for it. Now this is going to go home tomorrow. All of this work will go home and it's not going to be in recursos anymore. it's going to be in the take-home side. And once it's in the take-home side, we don't want to see it again. It goes home and it disappears. So now again, the purpose of it is so that it can help her to develop the habit of studying. In the future, they'll actually be studying out of their classwork days before the test. Right now, we just are focused on developing that habit. Inside the recursos, inside that yellow folder, you see in here the dates. I'm having the students write it in, the date when we started the chapter and the expected date of the chapter test. So on that date of the chapter test, which is August 28th for this next chapter 3 test, they're going to turn everything in. So let me show you another student's for right now. Here is another student's recursos. So what you see is, you see a new practice test and the classwork that we've done. We've done 2 days of classwork. Now, practice test. The practice test looks a lot like the chapter test that we'll take at the end. I'm calling it the real test at the end. This is the practice test. The real test comes later. The practice test is to stay in here at all times. It will come back to the classroom on a daily basis. I will on a regular, not every day, but on a regular basis, I will come back to the practice test and I will show the students how what we've been doing in the classroom is helping them for the test. It's helping them what they're learning. And so I'm connecting the learning to the classwork to the test that will be coming in the future, the practice test that they took and the chapter test they will take. So I'm trying to connect all the dots for them, and the procedures and the process and the routines are in place to help them develop that habit of studying and practicing. That's how we get better. So please help me to support your students by keeping that recursos in there. No homework in recursos. Don't leave it at home. And that there. Another thing. Reading. So every day they are to read, and I'm asking to use the same books at home and in the classroom. In the classroom, they take AR tests. It's very important that they have the books in the classroom so they can take the AR test. It's the library is open from 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., the Salt Creek Library. Kids can come in to exchange books if they already took the test. So if a student took a test today during class, tomorrow morning before class, they can go and exchange the book. And if tonight a student reads for homework a book, then tomorrow morning when they go to class, they can take the test in the classroom. And as soon as they take the test, they can go straight to the library to exchange it for a new book so that tomorrow they'll have something new to read. And for second grade, students should be reading a lot of books. They should be reading a lot of short books. By the end of second grade, it'll be more chapter books that will take days. But right now, they should be reading a lot of short books. So please help us, books in the classroom every day. And in the future, I'll be controlling more of the levels of the books. Okay, taking home work. So again, I mentioned how this is going to get scores on it and it's going to go home. Please help me to help your students by making sure that everything that's on the take-home side, which we'll call it on the right side, everything that's on the take-home side goes home and doesn't come back. It really helps them to be organized. Recursos, we're going to leave it on the left side. Tests. I have a test. This is our very first chapter test. that we've taken in the classroom. So in the future, you will have the real test. The real test will ask for a parent signature. The real test will have a score and a percentage. The real test will have a signature and must come back. You cannot keep these at home. Please send them back. It's very important because we track their progress. And this will help to show the improvement, and that's the goal. Improvement, getting better. So please make sure you send them back. Students that do not pass the test have a second chance test. And that means that they'll be studying a little bit more, they'll be practicing a little bit more, and they'll have a second chance to take another test just like it, but with different numbers and situations, of course. So we've talked about minute math. We have to talk about minute math. Okay. We've talked about reading homework. We've talked about math homework and minute math. Okay. Now we're going to talk about doing your homework, the actual doing it. So we know that we have the minute math. We know that we have the math homework sheet, and we know we have the reading to do. So let's start with the reading. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Each day they log what they read, and one day a week, any day of the week, they can do a summary of one of the things they read. They don't have to do a summary every day, just one summary for the week. And this is turned in every Friday. Friday is turned in. If it's turned in on Monday, that's fine. Math homework. They get a new math homework sheet every day. We rip it out of different places. And then they have to turn it in on a daily basis. They should do the front and the back. The front and the back. And you'll notice that the ones that come from the Common Core Math Curriculum, it says on the top NYS, Common Core Curriculum is a little bit harder than the Go Math, so just a heads up. Now, minute math. I'm going to show you how to do minute math. And it should be just that, a minute. If it's a minute and 30 seconds, that's fine. It shouldn't take longer than 5 minutes at all. Monday, they do their homework, and you can see here that I've done Monday's homework, and in the bottom, you put in the time. In my case, it took me 28 seconds to do this line, and that's it. Done with Monday's homework. Tuesday, you do the same thing. You do the class with the work, and you put in how many minutes and seconds. If it takes a minute and 30 seconds, that's a long time. It should be fast. The point of this is to get faster and more accurate. Most of the kids are pretty accurate, but we are trying to get faster each day of the week. On Friday, they will take the test, which is the last piece missing over here. If they pass it, they'll move on to the next number. If they don't pass it, they have to redo this next week for homework again. So this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There's an extra practice one, can be done on Thursday as well, and turn this in on Friday. And of course the math homework we talked about. So that's it. I hope that's been helpful. If you have any questions, please come to the classroom and see me. Give me a call, text me, or email me. Have a good day.